Greetings and welcome to my home. I'm Peter Updike, and this is my antler restrictions video. I got a question on Facebook, on Messenger, asking me if game wardens were serious and how strict were they when it came to antler restrictions. And I only had one answer for them. If you kill a deer that doesn't meet the legal requirements for where you're hunting, you'll be in violation, and they'll probably confiscate that deer. You'll probably get a ticket. You might have to go to court. You could lose your hunting license. So antler restrictions are important. So I thought I'd do a short video on know what it means to be legal when it comes to antler restrictions. When you go afield and you go hunting, know what it is that you're looking for, and have a well thought out process for what you're looking for in a quality of a deer. I have some antlers here I'm going to show you. This is what's called a spike deer. Okay, I killed this deer down in the Green Swamp. I guess it was probably 87 or 88 I killed this deer. And he does not meet the legal requirements in the state of Florida in any of the deer management units. So let me explain. So the deer management units, Florida's broken down into several units. It's A, B, C, and D. Where you're hunting, you will need to refer to the deer management unit regulation and find out what's legal in the area that you're hunting. I hunt in C and B. Okay, C and B deer management unit have a 3 points or better on one side. This does not meet that requirement. 3 points or better on one side in order to be legal, or have a 10-inch main beam. Now it has a clause in there for youth hunters. 15 years of age or younger can shoot this deer. Okay, 5 inches or more. Nothing less than 5 inches. So if a youth is hunting and they see a deer like this one, this is a 6-inch beam, and he was legal when I shot him, but he's not legal today. But he'd be legal for a youth. Okay, so again, the regulation for C and D deer management unit is 3 points or better on one side, or have a 10-inch main beam. Here's another one. Okay, killed this one some time ago. It too does not meet today's legal requirements. This is what's called a tine. In order for a tine to be legal, it would need to be 1 inch long. This is about 2 inches long. This main beam is not 10 inches. It's about 8 inches. Same with this one. So this deer is not legal for an adult. Okay? Anyone older than 15 cannot shoot this deer. Alright? So this is not legal. Here's another one that I killed. This is what's called a cowhorn spike. I suppose they call this a cowhorn spike. I shot this deer back in the 80s, and he was legal then when I shot him, but he is not a legal deer. He's maybe 9 inches. He's 9 inches on each side. So today this deer would not be legal. He is an illegal deer. Now, when I go afield, I've made the description of what I'm looking for by saying to myself, I'm looking for a good legal buck. A good legal buck would be a deer that surpasses, okay, the legal requirements. There's no question in your mind that that deer is legal. I would advise you to carry on with the same thought process. I killed this deer, again, probably sometime in the 90s. It has a 10-inch main beam, okay? But that's all it's got. This point here is not 1 inch long, so it doesn't count. This other side was broken, so we don't know what it had. So this deer is barely legal, alright? He does not really surpass. He just meets the legal requirements, but he doesn't surpass it. He's barely legal, okay? And you really couldn't tell if he was legal or not by looking at him through your tree stand, because through your scope on your tree stand, because he's just hard to determine. So I would be inclined to let this deer go. All right. There are several aspects to antler restrictions. There's the legality of antler restrictions, and then there's the biology, the reason we do it when it comes to antler restrictions. And then, believe it or not, there's a social dynamic to antler restrictions. And I'm going to try and touch on those today. So, why do we have antler restrictions? Well, because we want some of our younger deer like this, instead of being shot, maybe to have a chance to grow and mature and become large mature bucks, okay? And all of these deer, if I had not shot them and they were allowed to walk, probably would have survived a couple of years and grown to be big mature deer that would be more pleasurable to shoot. But that was the law then. That's not the law today, so you make your adjustments and you move forward. So let's talk about the social aspect of antler restrictions. This is a shed that I found, and it's a pretty dramatic shed. It's a big shed, and this deer, I would say that this deer is a fully mature deer and a trophy in anyone's eyes. If you killed a deer like this in Florida, I would think that he'd be pretty great. But the social dynamic of antler restrictions are the idea that if you let a buck go and you let him grow, that he'll become a bigger buck the following year, thus be more pleasurable to shoot. I don't necessarily heed that idea, but it's one that's within our circles. If you, in fact, hunt in a hunt club that has self-imposed antler restrictions, and you're not comfortable with that, if they're doing what's called a quality deer management program, where they're saying a deer needs to be 15 inches wide before you can shoot him, or needs to have 100 inches of antlers before you can shoot him, and the people instituting those rules and imposing them on you have shot their fair share of small bucks, okay? Let's just say I have the hunting lease, and it's my hunting lease, and I've killed all these deer, right? I've killed all these small deer in my hunting career, right? I've killed those deer, but I don't want to kill those deer anymore. This is what I want to kill. And I impose that thought process on you, and you haven't killed your fair share, okay? You haven't even killed one like this, okay? And that's your goal, just to go out and kill a deer. My advice to you would be to find a different hunt club. Find different hunting partners. We're all in this for the enjoyment of the outdoors. We're all in this to go hunting and to be successful. There's plenty of room out there in public land where you won't be browbeat for shooting a deer that someone else deems too small. Okay? If someone criticizes you for shooting a deer that's too small, and they in their own personal history have shot small deer, well then they're a hypocrite. Okay? It was okay for them to shoot their small deer, but it's not okay for you to shoot your small deer. So that's just, something for you to think about. There's plenty of room out here in public land if you want to go public land hunting and shoot a legal buck, a good legal buck that surpasses the legal requirements, or hunt a trophy deer like this one. This one didn't get big by accident, okay? He's a good deer. So that's my lesson on antler restrictions, and those are my thoughts on the biological. I believe if you let a deer go and let him grow, he'll become a bigger buck, and he'll have opportunities to breed, and he'll have opportunities to spread his genes. And then when he grows big antlers, and maybe you'll get the opportunity to shoot him. I'm all for that, okay? But I'm also for youth being able to shoot this buck right here, okay? Because I did it, right? And if you did it, and if you frown on somebody else doing it, well, maybe you need to change your thought process a little bit, okay? We're all about being in the outdoors and going deer hunting and eating backstraps someday. So those are my antlers. That's antler restrictions. And I want you to comment. I want you to tell me what you think, okay? What is your thought process on antler restrictions? How did you feel when they first came out with the rule? They've been working this antler restrictions in for quite a while. I remember 10 years ago, before they did a statewide antler restrictions, they had already instituted it at some of the some of the management areas that have quota permits. It was 3 points or better on one side, or 4 points or better on one side. So they had slowly been working it in. And if you didn't want to participate in the antler restrictions, well, you just didn't apply for the permit. You went someplace else. So that's where we are today as far as antler restrictions are concerned. I hope this helps. The fellow that messaged me asking me about antler restrictions, again, it's 3 points or better in the Ocala National Forest. It's 3 points or better on one side, or a 10-inch main beam. And just remember the phrase, a good legal buck. A good legal buck is one that surpasses, okay, any doubt. When you see him, you know that deer is legal. All right, love you guys. Thanks for watching, and like and subscribe, or just visit back. All right, see ya. Bye.